Parker, thanks for sitting down with me today to talk more about BTC-backed loans. As you guys know, friends don't let friends sell Bitcoin, and that's something that I run into. The problem that I run into is majority of my clients are Bitcoiners, which means that in order for them to get past that, they would have to sell Bitcoin, which is not something I support. So when I realized there's a product like BTC-backed loans, I figured that could solve my problems and problem for my clients. So can you please just walk us through what that is and how it works?
Yeah, well, absolutely. So thank you for being in town. You came to the meetup last week. We enjoyed having you, and then we had a bunch of Bitcoiners together this weekend, so that was great. I appreciate you coming in to learn more and help educate about our loans, because what you offer in terms of the second passports, it's a perfect application for our loans. People that have a lot of Bitcoin, generally have low tax bases, and then don't want to sell their Bitcoin because they want to be tax efficient, but then also preserve that future optionality and future price appreciation, and actually be able to get some liquidity to purchase things that they need today, and a second passport, whether it's a home or a second passport. Those are the type of things that our clients would ideally use our loans for. So kind of for just a high level of how our loans work. Today we issue our loans at 50% loan to value. We're considering, given the increase in prices recently, maybe to help our clients manage the volatility, start issuing loans at 40% loan to value, but just kind of working within the framework that our loans currently operate in today. Think about it as if somebody needed a $100,000 loan, they would post $200,000 of Bitcoin as collateral. One of the important things about our platform is that we never rehypothecate collateral, and Bitcoin is always segregated per loan. So you're not just relying on a user interface to trust that the Bitcoin is there. Each individual loan, in that context, if you came and got a $100,000 loan from us, there would be a multisig Bitcoin address, all keys would be cold stored, and you could audit it on your own node or on a third-party block explorer and see that $200,000 worth of Bitcoin is there. As the price of Bitcoin fluctuates, if the price drops, there's certain thresholds at which we'd ask for additional collateral to post, so that we'd maintain a collateral to principal ratio or loan to value within that similar type band. But then similarly, if the price of Bitcoin appreciates, we'll also release collateral depending on certain thresholds. One of the interesting things about our loans is we also, in addition to having all collateral be fully segregated per loan and unauditable, we also let our clients hold one of three keys. So all Bitcoin is held in what's referred to as multisig. So there's multiple keys that are required to move collateral. We let our clients hold one in one type of custody, where we hold another, and then we have a third party that holds the third key. And again, two keys out of the three are required to move. A client's not in control of their assets, but they can verify that their key is uniquely there and that this isn't just Bitcoin that we're showing to multiple different people. So we try to do everything in our platform to minimize trust, and then also to reduce single points of failure.
Who is participating as a third key holder?
So the third-party key agent that we use is a firm called Citadel SPV. They're based in New York. The principals at Citadel have come out of Bank of New York Mellon and other traditional custodians. So really, they aren't an arbiter in our loans. They're an agent of ours, and they really help facilitate security of a single key and manage financial controls.
All right. I'm glad that you brought up the $100,000 loan, because that's pretty much the donation for many of my programs, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, and Antigua. So what are the terms? Let's say I do need a $100,000 loan for St. Lucia. I'm giving you $200,000 worth of Bitcoin, and what is the rate and the timeline on the loan?
Yeah, so I think there's a few things to consider there. We have we have the duration of loans that go up to 3 years. So we do loans from 3 months up to 3 years, and then the interest rate will vary based on the length of time that our capital is out and committed for. One thing to note about our loans is that we don't have prepayment penalties, so you could get a 3-year loan, but then pay it back in 3 months or 6 months if you have, kind of a payout from some other investment. So it's important to be aware of that. Our interest rates vary from kind of a 3-month loan between 10 and 11% and a 3-year loan at closer to 14%. So the idea being that the longer that our capital is committed for to someone, the higher the interest rate, because that's capital that, one of the ways we think about it is if somebody took out a 3-month loan, they could always renew it. But then if there was a significantly increase in demand on our loans, then we'd have the ability to increase the interest rate. By committing capital for 3 years, we're locking locking in a rate of interest to a client for 3 years, and then kind of generally they can either pay for that. One, it's their interest only payments. So think about it as your monthly interest would be kind of that rate annualized. And that's actually paid on so one thing to note, there are origination fees associated with our loan. They're about 50 basis points to 1%, depending on, like a 3-month loan has a 50 basis point or 0.5% origination fee. A 3-year loan, anywhere from a 1 year to a 3 year, has a 1%, and that's paid up front. And we can generally turn around loans, kind of in 24 to 48 hours. Recently, with the increase in the price of Bitcoin and record volumes, it's reasonably taken probably closer to a week to turn around loans, just based on the record volume. But also, if there's somebody that has a high kind of a deadline that's important, or a short fuse and they need it, that we can also work with clients depending on the scenario.
One thing I always want to talk about with my clients is Multisig, because not everybody's familiar with that. Do you see that people see it as a challenge in order to get a loan, to figure out how the Multisig works? Is it something you help with?
So one, we do offer 2 different services. So we offer custody that's on a standalone basis, that's basically not in the context of our loans, and then we use the same kind of core engine, software, and infrastructure to then facilitate custody in the context of loans. So I want to draw that distinction. When you're operating in the custody space and not in the context of loans, you realistically are responsible for more of the keys, and then ultimately, because you're responsible for more of the keys, you need to be aware and manage certain other responsibilities as well. In the context of our loans, it's really easy, where you come in and we basically need you do need to be relatively familiar with a hardware wallet. If you're not, we can help you. We do have a concierge process on the custody side, so that if people just want to come and better secure their Bitcoin, we can take them from zero, not having any keys, to walking them through basically the full setup of individual keys, and then explaining them everything they need to know about Multisig, and then helping them create a Multisig vault. In the context of loans, if they're just using us on the lending side and they're not using us on a standalone perspective for custody, and they don't have a key today, we can help get them set up. Again, it's not difficult to do. I think anything that Bitcoiners, if they're new to holding their own keys, there's important things that they need to understand about the significances of different pieces of information and how to secure it. That's what we do professionally. So realistically, if somebody did have a hardware wallet and was just trying to kind of make the graduation to Multisig, if it's just in the context of our loans, all they would do is come to our website, they'd have their Trezor, Ledger, or Cold Card, they'd export what's called an extended public key. Again, private keys on the devices are designed never to leave those devices. They'd share that information, it's easily facilitated through our website, and then we would use that public key from our clients' hardware devices to construct a Multisig vault that's unique to them. From their experience, all they would do is connect their device, or in the case of a Cold Card, basically use an SD card to export XPub from a Cold Card, and then upload it to our interface, and then we would create a Multisig vault. So realistically, very low bar. The enhanced security that a client gets, and again, the whole reason why people come to us for our loans is to preserve their Bitcoin and to hold it into our future. Multisig is a best practice in terms of securing their Bitcoin. We make that easy for people to do, and if anybody ever has questions, we can hop on their phone and walk them through that.
Really appreciate you walking me through all that. Thanks a lot. If I have any more questions, I'll definitely reach out to you guys and ask that. Really appreciate it.
You know where to find us, and we're always here to answer questions.
Thank you.